Hi guys, how's it going? So we're back. Happy Wednesday. So today for math, we have kind of wrapped up our studying of the customary system. So the system that we use in the US, inches, feet, meters, all that, or miles, sorry, that type of stuff. Today, we are dealing with the metric system. Now, the metric system is a heck of a lot easier than the customary system is because it's something that people use all around the world, okay? So it's pretty much universal for how to measure things. So we're gonna start by talking about what is the metric system. So the metric system talks about a base unit and a prefix. So if we look at the word kilometer or kilometer, okay, we're looking at that word. We can see that the word meter is what we call our base word, our base unit, similar to how you talk about it in your language arts class with Mrs. Fraser, okay? That is your base word is meter. Now your prefix, that little part that comes before it, tells us what type of meter is it, okay? So it kind of helps us identify what type of meter is it. Okay, so there are three different base units that we're going to be talking about. One of them is meter, the other one is liter, and the third one is gram. So we can use this prefix for all of these. Kilometer, kiloliter, kilogram. We can use that prefix for any one of these base units. Okay, so we're going to talk about, we talked about the base units. Now we're going to talk about the prefixes. Okay, so prefixes are going to be pretty easy. We have a very easy way to remember them by. So our little phrase that helps us remember the order is King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Now it's a funny way to remember it, but I promise you, I have remembered it ever since I learned it when I was in elementary school too. So it will stick with you. Just like some of the other little phrases that we've talked about, okay? So King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Now, what do those mean, okay? Well, that's the important part, is what do those little words stand for? All right, so actually, I'm gonna cover that part up. So king stands for kilo, okay? So we talked about kilo up here. Kilometer, kilometer, however you wanna say it, same meaning, okay? Kilometer, kilo, okay? Next one is, sorry, I'm gonna move my papers around a little bit. The next one is hecto. Henry stands for hecto. D stands for, or died stands for deca. Now, there are gonna be two D's on here. So remember, deca is gonna be the first one that the one that comes first in the little phrase, deca. And then B is gonna be standing for your base unit. So the base units that we talked about up here, that is what this is talking about. So it's gonna be either meters, liters, or grams. Drinking stands for deci, so decimeter, deciliter, or decigram. Okay, it's another prefix. The C stands for centi, so the one we see all the time is centimeter, centimeter, right? Okay, so chocolate stands for centi. And then last but not least, milli, milk stands for milli, okay? So milliliter, think of milliliter, or millimeter, or milligram, any of those. You've heard all these words before, now we're just kind of breaking them down and explaining what they really mean, okay? So we're gonna go through each one of these and talk about what they stand for. So what does a kilometer stand for? What does a hectometer stand for? What does any of these mean, okay? So I'm gonna show you a lot of numbers right now, so don't freak out. We're gonna go through each one of them and talk about them. So by looking at each one of these, you should be able to see a pattern. Okay, so we have 1,000, 100, 10, 1, 1/10, 1 100th, 1 1,000th, okay? So the good thing about the metric system is it works in powers of 10. So does anybody remember when we did exponents, when we were moving our decimal points, when we were multiplying by 10 or dividing by 10? That is the same thing we are doing here. So if I want to go from a meter to a decameter, so I'm going from meter to decameter, I'm going to be dividing by 10. If I'm going from 1 meter to a decimeter, I am timesing by 10. So if I am headed in this direction, I am multiplying by 10. If I am heading in this direction, I am dividing by 10. Okay, so see, you can see how you're multiplying by 10, your numbers are getting bigger. If you're dividing by 10, your numbers are getting smaller. This is a very, very, very small number. Okay, so just remember that. All right, so I should have said this in the beginning, but you should be writing this down on a piece of paper somewhere. I know you guys don't have your notebooks. Some of you might, so you can throw it in your notebook. If not, find a piece of lined paper and pause the video right now, and I will let you write this down in your notes. If not, just go back to the beginning of the video and copy it down, okay? So I want you to write this down because I promise it will help you a ton. All right, so if you need to pause the video, do it, but I'm gonna move on. All right, so I'm gonna have this next to me as I'm working on this. So the question I have right in front of me is 5 milligrams equals how many grams? So what I'm gonna do is write out my little phrase, but just using those first letters. So King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Okay, so kilo, hecto, deca, base unit, deci, centi, milli. Okay, so in this question right here, 5 milligrams equals how many grams? I am starting with milligrams and you need to get 2 grams. Think of this as your starting point and this as your ending point. Okay, so I'm starting right here. Remember, milli. Milli is where I'm starting. Grams, if you are one step ahead of me, you can see grams is a base unit, which means we are gonna end up going to B. Now, what I need to do is count how many steps or how many jumps I'm moving from milli all the way to my base unit of grams. So I'm going 1, 2, 3. So 3 jumps. Oh, I put my dot on. To the left. So I moved 3 jumps to the left. This part to the left is important because it is going to give you the answer. I know you guys love when that gives you the answer. We're going 3 jumps to the left. Guess what? Your decimal point is also going to be moving 3 jumps to the left. So if I have 5 milligrams, my decimal point, remember, is always right there. Even if it's invisible, it's right there. I'm moving 1, 2, 3 jumps to the left. That is where my decimal point is moving. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I fill in these little spaces with zeros. So my answer, 5 milligrams equals 0.005. Remember, my decimal point's here, so you can put a 0. 0.005 grams. Okay, so that is going to be my final answer. Okay, so if you need to watch that again, watch it again. But it's pretty easy. So it can work the same way if we were going from grams to milligrams. Let's actually do that. Let's do grams to milligrams. So let's do, I have 6 grams equals how many milligrams? Okay, 6 grams equals how many milligrams? Sorry, you can't see it. My bad. So, same thing. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Oh goodness, okay, sorry. So grams is a base unit, so I'm starting here and I'm ending at milligrams. Okay, it's not always gonna be your base to milligrams, it could be any of these, but this is just the example that we're doing. So I'm going from my base unit to my milligrams, so I'm jumping 1, 2, 3 jumps. But in this case, I'm moving to the right, which means my decimal point also moves 3 spaces to the right. So I have 6 grams. Remember, decimal point goes right there. It's kind of invisible right now. And it's going 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3 jumps, right there. So 6 grams equals 6,000 milligrams, okay? Final answer. All right, so if you need to replay that video again to kind of watch it again, do it. But that's all I have for you guys today. We will continue with this tomorrow, okay? Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye, guys.